It is 8:15 and it's time for our latest segment of First and Finest. So joining us for that is Brian Foley from the Connecticut Department of Emergency Services and Public Protection, as well as a special guest who we'll get to in just a bit. But Brian, I want to start things off with you. Good morning.
Good morning, Angelo. Thanks for having us.
Of course. So we saw some very scary moments earlier in the week when a Waterbury officer was shot in the chest. Do we have an update on that officer's condition, and what did the state police involvement look like in that case?
So I talked to Chief Spagnolo, who was obviously very concerned for his officer and the entire incident, and the officer is doing well. That being said, he was shot in the chest. Thank God he had a bulletproof vest. A lot of people were traumatized. Obviously, the officers, it's a lot for them to go through, and it was a friendly fire incident. So that means he was shot by another police officer, either straight on or by a ricochet. And it goes to the dangers of when you approach motor vehicles, when you approach stolen cars. And I got to tell you, this was not just a typical stolen car investigation. After talking to the chief, that this investigation had to do with other incidents involving firearms. And we're seeing that all across the region right now. So approaching these stolen vehicles is very dangerous. And I won't get into my personal opinions about shooting at moving targets or moving motor vehicles. But suffice to say that it becomes more dangerous when whatever you're pointing a firearm at is a moving target. Connecticut State Police were involved. Anytime there's an officer involved shooting, typically the Connecticut State's Attorney's Office does call the Connecticut State Police to at least process the scene. That's what happened here. Talking to Chief Spagnolo down in Waterbury, there'll be a full review of the incident down there.
You know that officer is doing well this morning. And getting back to our special guest now. So we've been talking about a lot of different incidents over the past few weeks that have involved not only your department, but also the Department of Transportation. So you have brought along Paul Rizzo from the DOT to help give us some more insight, especially as we've got this winter weather coming. So Paul, if you're there, I'd love to know how that preparation is looking like.
Good morning, Angelo. Thank you for having me.
Of course. So we've got this winter mix. Yep. Go for it, man.
Yeah. So the DOT has been prepared since before November 1st. Our fleet of over 634 trucks located around 50 facilities around the state are ready to go. Also, we have 200 local contractors that are aboard if we need them.
And what can people expect this week? I know we're pretty still far out there. A lot of questions about what exactly we can expect, but what will the preparation look like and when does that actually happen?
So again, you know, we've been prepared. We're prepared right from the beginning of the season. We have a diverse fleet of trucks from small single plow trucks to double wing trucks to our newest tow plow trucks, if you've seen them out there. It's a large vehicle, plows 26 feet in one pass, and we've even got a few that can plow 36 feet in one pass. Very efficient vehicles. We've added some new technology to our trucks this year, GPS, and also a system that provides data to the driver and gives a recommendation on treatment. We also have 39 road weather information systems around the state. These are essentially weather sites that provide road and air temp, barometric pressure, subsurface temperature, precipitation type, and they also have a camera on them so you can see real-time climate and road conditions.
Wow, yeah, you guys are definitely all set to go on that front. And Paul, I did want to ask about another issue that we report on more than I'd like to, which is these wrong-way drivers. A lot of deaths happening because of this. So can you tell us about that issue and what the DOT is doing to prevent that issue?
Yeah, so wrong-way drivers is a serious problem. The DOT takes the problem seriously. We've recently completed a major project, a multi-million-dollar project replacing all the signage on our ramps. Connecticut has over 700 ramps, which makes it difficult, but this project has enhanced signs, wrong-way driver signs, that there's no less than 6 on each ramp. They're larger, they're lower for line of sight, they're more reflective, and they're strategically placed to try to alert motorists that they are getting on in the wrong direction. The biggest problem is most of these drivers are typically under the influence of drugs or alcohol. We've also initiated a pilot program in Danbury, where one of the ramps down in Danbury, we have a system that we've put in that can detect a wrong-way driver, and it activates red flashing lights on these signs that hopefully catches the motorist's attention and gets them to self-correct. And early data has shown that we've actually detected 6 vehicles that have self-corrected.
And as we talk about these wrong-way drivers, we saw earlier this week that a driver from DOT State Farm Safety Patrol actually stopped one of these wrong-way drivers and then was recognized for that. So how important is that program that you just mentioned to the safety of Connecticut residents? And can you tell us more about how that person was recognized?
Sure. So the DOT State Farm Safety Patrol is an integral component in our incident response. We have 15 trucks that patrol the state's highways Monday through Friday from 5:30 in the morning to 7 at night. And these drivers recognize and go to vehicles that are broken down, flat tire, ran out of gas, in an accident. They try to get there right away and mitigate the hazard before it makes congestion. As we know, the congestion creates secondary accidents. And this driver, Avi Aponte, he's been with the program from the beginning. He did stop a wrong-way driver, probably saved lives that day, and he was recognized by our commissioner at the time. And we've just surpassed 50,000 assists. Since State Farm became our sponsor in May of 2017, we've surpassed 50,000 assists of motorists. That's 50,000 opportunities that could have been much worse had our safety patrol not been there to respond.
For sure. Paul Rizzo, thank you so much. And if we could get back to Brian Foley now, because I did want to ask about another alarming issue. We saw 100 cars get broken into in Newington this past week, and then we saw another big wave over in Meriden. That is an insane number, Brian. So what exactly is going on here? I mean, is there a reason that this many car break-ins is happening?
You know, back in the late 90s, if you had 20 or 30 car breaks down in the downtown Hartford for the week, it was alarming. And back then, a lot of the car breaks were centered around the addiction and the heroin addiction, and people would break into cars to try to find something to steal and then trade that for narcotics. However, this has changed exponentially in that people breaking into cars, people walking up your driveway, pulling your car handles, they're not looking typically for loose change. They're looking to steal your car because the key fobs or keys are in that vehicle. So that's changed. That's what we believe was happening around Meriden and Newington, as well as around the entire state. It's become a big problem, and the stolen car problem, as we discussed earlier in Waterbury, with the incident that we had, it's becoming very dangerous. It's not just dangerous for the police officers, it's dangerous for the innocent citizens that are out there driving around. It's also obviously a great inconvenience and loss when there are vehicles stolen. But what I want to talk about a little bit more importantly is how dangerous this is for the youth that are involved in stealing these motor vehicles. Some of these kids, and it's a very small percentage that are involved in it, are actually a danger to themselves. And they live a lifestyle that is dangerous to themselves. Stealing a car, walking up, pulling a door handle, and getting in the car, that's dangerous if you encounter a homeowner, then speeding away. And then the police get involved, it's a dangerous situation. We're seeing so many of these stolen motor vehicles that have firearms in them now. There's so many happening every day here, New Haven, Bridgeport as well. And so that's obviously a dangerous situation. You're going to see, I believe, in the coming months, it's a great concern to so many legislators, and talking to people in OPM as well as Commissioner Rivella is very concerned with it as well, that some of these juveniles are in danger and they need protection from their own lifestyles. So you're going to see the juvenile justice conversation, I think, reopen here in the city of Hartford.
Something we are going to be keeping a very close eye on. Brian Foley, thank you so much.
All right, everyone, give toys away at those toy drives. You're going to see cops all around the big box stores around the state. Thanks, Angelo.
There you go, man. Thank you so much. Have a great day. All right.